and you keep a score and you come up short. But there's a couple things in this game. I thought early on, we played some different guys at linebacker. A couple things. We gave them really some big runs, which is, something that we've really worked hard on that I think when you look back, that's not what we want to do. So obviously that's something that, we need to improve upon, getting downhill. I think then we let the quarterback escape. That's something that hurt us in the past for a big first down early on. And then obviously we get beat on the cover zero. CJ's got him one-on-one, and CJ was coming off a real good game last week, but I think it shows how this, sport can humble you. You know what I'm saying? One week you can really play lights out, and then the next week, all of a sudden you don't make that play, and CJ's, a guy that can make that play, and I'm sure the next time he has that opportunity, he will, and we believe in that. I think one of the things defensively that I liked, with corners. I thought that Breon Borders showed up. He's the guy that, has been catching a lot of eyes, doing a nice job out there. Trey Herndon obviously made a great play, but I think Trey Herndon, from our standpoint, he's been making plays like that all through, training camp. So, Trey's really solidified himself out there. I think you guys seen, Tay Hayes is another guy that is, just keeps going in there and keeps getting his hands on the football and doing a nice job. So, that's an encouraging part of where that is. I think that, from a special team standpoint, I thought Logan Cook really had a good game. That's something that obviously we need to carry over into the season. It's extremely important for us. He's been working hard. He really improved as the year went on last year, and now he's got. When you go out and you punt the way he did today, now it's we're going to be looking for that each week. That type of consistency. We didn't make all the plays we made out there. Obviously we made some poor errors. The holding on a 2nd and 2, the holding penalty in special teams, things of that nature. And we're always preaching to our players that we want to be a smart football team. And I think, a really good example of that is what Keelan Cole did today. Ball's close to the sideline on the kickoff. He gets himself out of bounds, touches the ball. We get the ball at the 40. So that's a step in the right direction. Offensively, we were looking, and last week Gardner came off a game where. And I think you can look at it, and there's a lot of things that I did like last week, but during the week I've gotten a lot of questions where hey, what do you need to see? What do you need to do? I thought that Gardner gave us a really good opportunity to win the game. I thought that we had a couple of plays. We had the one to DJ on the side. We had the one to Michael Walker where we got to come up with that catch. We really do, and I'm sure they're as disappointed as anyone. And like I said before, those guys have the ability to do it. So it's not like we're asking them to do something that they can't do, and it's disappointing for all of us. And I don't believe that will happen again. DJ's been having a really good camp, and Michael Walker has been really consistent for us. And I think that Gardner didn't give us a chance on the Keelan Cole throw. The one that was out of bounds, and. But at the end of the day, he did a lot. I mean, he did a lot for me. To where I feel that he's done a good job. So there's not a lot of snaps left. He'll get most of them. Coming up. We're getting ready to play our starters. Obviously, everyone who's healthy. Getting ready to play them next week. So it's an exciting part. We're moving in a different direction as far as our week and how we prepare. I think these guys are itching to get out there, which is good. They put a lot of work in. I'm excited about that. And then I thought Alex went in there and showed that he can run. He can run. I thought he had, a real good throw, moving to his left and throwing that ball down the field. Almost gave us an opportunity. But I think when you look at these games, I think the one thing you learn about this sport, never lose sight of, you need playmakers. You need guys to make plays on both sides. We had the turnover early on. We had one penalty that went against us. I'm still trying to figure out. But, again, can't worry about the things you can't control. So that's where we are. I think we've accomplished some things from a depth standpoint tonight. But, obviously we're switching gears and going to a different week this week. Any questions?
So when you look at a game where you have all the backups in, do you evaluate that differently than you would with starters?
Um, I don't, like, I mean, there's some. I mean, when the starters go out there, I think that, this. I mean, you can do more with them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can do more. So there's a different evaluation of, hey, we can throw a ton of stuff out there and do a ton of different things and make fast adjustments and put things out there. I think when you throw out younger guys, I'm just going to go older or younger. When you throw out some younger guys out there, I think that you really want to keep it to what they know. You want to keep it what they can do. You don't want to put a big thing because there's not a lot of game planning. At this time of year. But I'm just trying to see, making sure that we're giving them the right opportunity to see if they are deserving, to make a spot and that they can play winning football for us down the road. I think sometimes if you get too cute, and you try to do too much schematically, you don't really, you might not see that in a player, and you might miss on a player. So, I just try to go out there and I judge everyone by being able to win and lose, though. So from that standpoint, you have to. But I think I put more on the veterans to get in and out of plays. That's why with Gardner tonight, I was happy he got us out of four things that a lot of young quarterbacks not going to be able to do that. So he's a bright kid, he's a smart kid. I think that he showed that he got better from the week before. I think those things help. That's what I look with the young guys. CJ had a really good week last week. Not such a good, good game today. You're trying to find that consistency. And I think you do that all the time because if you put your older players or starters in there and you get that inconsistency, I know in the past I've fallen into that trap where you say to yourself, "Oh, they'll be okay. They did it for us last year, or this guy can do that." I think every year is a little bit different. They have to show that they can do it. And I think you got to look at that across the whole board.
Did you get a sense that, Gardner was significantly more comfortable?
He looked that way. Last week, he took that big hit, last week. And that's the one thing that, you kind of look for, when you're a coach. When those guys come over to the sideline, there's just sometimes there's a look that they have that you're like, oh, this is not good. They're rattled. They don't know what happened. Meaning like, it wasn't their fault, but they still can't figure it out. And then all of a sudden they get hit, and it's a scary feeling. And a lot of players, it takes them. It'll take them. It'll vary, but it'll be different on how long before they come back. I think we all sit here and not having played, a lot recently. If that happened to any one of us, it takes a while to get that confidence back, when you're out there. I thought that Gardner just was unwavering, just let's go. There was a play tonight that'll get overlooked. It was 3rd and long. And he winds up throwing the check down, and we get about 6 or 7 yards. We're short of the first down. We're going to punt. But instead of trying to force the ball down the field, at that time of the game, we didn't have anything. It probably can lead. It would be a poor throw. It could be a turnover. The kid makes a throw, throws it, we get complete, we go ahead and punt. It's a close game. That 7 yards is a big difference. I think. So there's a lot of things that he does that I like. His demeanor, though, is probably one of the most impressive, though.
What were the other three? You said there were 4 things he got you out of. Do you remember them offhand?
Yeah, well, the touchdown, the cover zero, check into that. A couple of those cover zero blitzes.
Coach, is there any linebacker that kind of stood out to you, especially with them giving up such big runs up here in the first half?
Yeah, the first half, those guys, we had Najee playing Will in the first half. He's been playing Mike for us. He can play Will. We feel like he can. We put Joe Joe Giles starting at Mike for us. He was an undrafted free agent that's really been having a good camp. who plays multiple positions, real smart kid. So we had him there, and then obviously we have Leon, playing the Sam. I just think early on with the plays, just kind of, you got to be able to bounce back. When those plays they cut the guy across and they roll in there, you got to be able to do that. So, I think we're a little bit late early on in that, and that's what the big plays came in. Now the D line can make those plays too, so it's not all on them. But we're looking for that diversity. I thought DJ Alexander, was injured during the week. He came back, which I thought was encouraging, and played. Really wanted to be out there. It's going to be, those guys have some good versatility. It's going to be tough to see, who's going to make it out of that group. I thought that, Ramik was a guy that started with Will with us, Ramik Wilson, and then we moved him to Sam. And then we moved them back, inside. And I think you got to be careful with players. When you're moving guys around, you talk about, it's like the question I had before, what are you looking for? I'm looking for consistency, But when you're moving guys around, sometimes it's hard to get that consistency that you would like to see. But I thought Ramik came back today and played better. And that's where, we've got to do a good job and make good decisions on where they go and where they play.
The last one for John.
Basically, you waiting just to get those guys back? 'Cause, what did you see from the line?
From the O-line?
From the backup.
From the offensive line, John? Yeah. So from the offensive line, I didn't like the way we didn't really ever establish a running game. I thought that early on, I think when any action that was going into the line, I thought their backers were filling really quick, really fast. I know they had a couple of their starters in, early on. I think we got, sometimes the protection looked good. But I think the thing I was probably most disappointed, I'd want more push inside. I'd want to be able to get up to that second level and create some more seams from that standpoint. It's a tough defense schematically, because they have guys that play wide and outside. Obviously, it's a defense that, Coach Schwartz, I have a ton of respect for it. We worked together in Buffalo, played against him for years when he was at the Titans and I was at the Jets. And, they do a good job, and it's a good scheme and good players. And, you just like to see more out of our guys. Our guys have, they've done a good job. They've worked hard. It's going to be a tough battle. I think when everyone comes back and everyone's healthy, the guys that are coming back, play like they played before. I think that's good, or play as well as they were playing before they were injured. That'll be good. But then we got to figure out where the rest of those guys go, because that's really the thing in my mind that I want to get that done first. Right? I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to get the line solidified is probably the big priority right now for me.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, I appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good evening.
Here right now, guys.
Who's coming in?
Gardner.
Ooh.
Stay, you should stay.
Ask some questions, Coach.
He's good now, right? I like him. He's good. I mean, he doesn't get rattled. I don't know if that's good or bad. Sometimes you have to feel a little guy go real.
How we doing?
Gardner, how much confidence did you gain over last week to this week?
A lot of confidence. Anytime you get more reps, that can only grow. But going back, watching the film, seeing we weren't that far off, and we're even closer still. We still got a lot of things we can do better, but definitely getting a lot more confident.
Hey, Garrison, does it look like you have a pretty good little connection with Trey? Because I'm sorry, Gardner. Sorry.
Oh yeah,
Second time for me. It won't be a third.
better not.
So it looks like you have a pretty good connection with Trey. You guys had a good practice together the other day, and then obviously in the second quarter you guys made some plays happen. Is he is there something that's meshing well with you two?
Yeah, I mean Trey, he's a super savvy guy. You can tell he's played a lot of ball. You know, so it's no you know, this kind of ball is no stranger to him. So he does a lot of really savvy things, makes it easy on us quarterbacks, and you know, he's fun to throw to for sure.
Did you feel tonight just more comfortable, I mean, from last week? What did you feel that was different about command and, you know,
Yeah.
accuracy and things?
Absolutely. You know, I think, you know, you get your feet wet, and then, you know, you grow in confidence from that. And, you know, I think the more reps you get, the more comfortable it is. You know, the less foreign it is to you. So it you know, hopefully just continues to get easier from here.
Coach said you took a big hit in your face. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, you know, I just got played.
He was talking about last week's.
Oh, last week, yeah. I'm sure, yeah, I've seen that several times, as have I. But no, it was, you know, that's one thing I've always been taught is, you know, to be tough, to buckle your chin strap up tighter, and go play the next play. And I think that's, you know, one of the things, you know, I try to bring every week is, you know, toughness. You want to be, you know, as a quarterback, not just a leader from the back, but leading on the front lines. You know, showing that you're ready to mix it up with anybody.
How much did knowing kind of what to expect this week as opposed to going in last week, first NFL game, how much knowing what to expect make a difference for you?
Yeah, it helps a lot. You know, it helps the game move a lot slower. You know, you feel like you're more in control. You know, they're not dictating to you. You can kind of dictate to them. And that's when you can really play good ball.
Looking back on last week, did you ever feel overwhelmed at any point, or did, you know, the moment it's like, oh, you know, you've been waiting for this your whole life, that kind of thing?
Not really. You know, honestly, wasn't as nervous as I thought I was going to be, but it was still fast, man. They were really good, and you know, we weren't ready and didn't execute well enough to beat them.
Most quarterbacks would just want to air it out every time they want, but as a quarterback in this league, you have to dump a lot. How much does that test your patience, and how much does it kind of get you going a little bit tonight?
Yeah, you know, anytime you can, you know, you want to let your playmakers around you touch the ball as much as possible, you know, however that is, whether it's 20 yards downfield, 5 yards downfield at the line of scrimmage, you know, you want to do that. And I think that gets everybody in a rhythm when you can do that.
What was your biggest takeaway from last game into this one for you?
Yeah, I think, you know, just building in confidence with, you know, the guys I'm in there with, you know, kind of get on the same page and continue to, you know, kind of work on the execution factor. And that's one thing I feel like we did a lot better this week of practice and in this game. And still got a long, long ways to go, for sure.
You all good?
All right. Appreciate it, guys.